This world has been sundered by a tide of arcane energy. The winds of magic churned into a maelstrom. The Tome of Fate drew me north to find out why. It guided me to a distant fortress steeped in blood. A battle was fought there. Though long over, the spirits still lingered. In the shadow of a broken portal, the trail ended. It was here the tome conversed with the dead. They told of Ursun, the bear god of Kislev, lost in darkness. A noble prince ventured to save him, yet he strayed from the path and was corrupted by chaos. Savior became executioner. A single shot, bound in faith forsaken, pierced Ursun's heart. And so the bear god roared. The tide that broke the world. Spirits, where lies Ursun now? Is he here in the north?
Beyond the maelstrom, in the realm of chaos, in the forge of souls.
Is he alive?
Wounded and dying, embraces in shadow.
What shadow? A demon's?
A master of the dark.
I knew who shackled the bear. Be'lakor. Only a fool would challenge Be'lakor. And yet, the power of a dying god, there is no greater prize. A mere drop of Ursun's blood would break my curse, ending my servitude to this accursed book. Free to profit from its secrets. But Ursun is locked in the Forge of Souls, deep in the realm of chaos, and I cannot enter this nightmarish domain. All routes have been sealed by the maelstrom. There must be a way. The tome unveils a spell to summon a portal, one to bypass the maelstrom and create a door into chaos. Knowledge to bargain, for I need an ally, one who is tempted by the power of the god bear and can withstand the horrors within.
Was that not awesome? Guys, it's Brett, coming at you with early access. Thank you, CA, for allowing me to go ahead and showcase this game early. Guys, if you're wondering where I've been sick. I've been sick and some other stuff that I'll talk about that's been keeping me from making videos and still kind of affecting me a little bit. For those of you new to the channel, yeah, I'm Brett, channel's Goodtalk Gaming, guys, and I love Total War as a franchise, and I also love Warhammer as a franchise as well. When they're combined, it's like the coolest thing ever. If you've never seen me play any of the Total War Warhammer 1 or 2 campaigns, I'm not bad at it, right? I'm a pretty good captain of this ship. I've got a couple thousand hours in it, so I'd say I know what I'm doing. I love to read. I love to get into the lore. I'm not a guy who's going to click through every single scene or every cutscene or every, bit of dialogue. We're going to take our time. We're going to have fun with our campaign. And today, if you've guessed by the thumbnail and the title of the video, we're going to be playing as Kislev. So I tried to make this video once already, and the game crashed. So it was a bit frustrating. I was about almost completely done with the video, and the entire video file was corrupted, and I had to yeet the whole thing. And I wasn't feeling very well, so I didn't have the strength in me to do it again. So I've just been kind of chilling, playing the game on my own time, and yeah, trying to, fall in love with it and make a great video for you guys. So, without any further ado, we're going to play as Kislev, we're going to play as the Tzarina, Katarin, and we are going to have some fun. So the realm of chaos, the winds of magic royal, stirred into a tempest by the roar of a dying god. Now demon and mortal alike must break through the eldritch storm and enter the realm of chaos in search of the ultimate prize. Will the demonic lords of chaos claim victory and find favor with their dark masters? Or shall the denizens of a world scarred by constant war endure the trials and temptations of the chaos realm? The choice is yours. So as Kislev, the Tsardom of Kislev, known as the realm of the Ice Queen, is the most I almost said motherly, northerly civilization within the old world. A powerful and war-driven country. Motherly actually would have been pretty correct. The inhabitants of Kislev are wolf-tough and self-reliant warriors, valiant and determined in the defense of their motherland, for they are the bulwark against the horrors of the north. Since its founding, Kislev has been under constant assault by the hordes of chaos. Countless generations of Kislevites have fought and died in the snowy tundra of those harsh northern oblasts. And it is thanks to these brave Kislevite warriors that mankind has managed to flourish in the south, huddled together in their warm, safe homes, whilst the sons and daughters of Kislev fight on until they draw their dying breaths. Awesome. We'll get into all of this. It'll basically explain it all to us. And my voice sounds a little raw. It is. I had a jiu-jitsu tournament. Lots of people tried to choke me. I did pretty well, if you're curious. Not as good as I had hoped, but I did very well. But my throat is still very much bruised and battered. So that's, if you hear like a very obvious kind of lack of noise coming from my end on the mic, it's probably because I paused it to cough or something like that. So yeah, that's all the preamble. Let's get in, watch this awesome cinematic.
I command ice and snow.
You know what, even before we do that, we got to look at this stuff. Of course, there's Tzarina Katarin. Another option is good old Rasputin here, Kostaltin. I'll probably, if I play him in a campaign, I'll probably just rename him to Rasputin. And then the news about the Tsar Boris Ursus being in the game leaked recently. Well, it leaked, and then it was actually, confirmed. We're going to try to unlock him. I know how. We just need to capture some of the major cities in Kislev. And, yeah, then we get him available as a legendary lord for play. And that's awesome. So, Kostaltin is kind of our rival in our Tzarina Katarin Let's Play. We're at odds. I don't know how that plays into if you play as Boris. Maybe he's still your rival. But here we go. Tzarina Katarin Boka, the Ice Queen of Kislev, known as one of the most powerful ice witches to have ever lived. From the icy fastness of her capital city of Kislev, the Ice Queen rules her land with an aloof majesty. Her power is said to come from the very motherland itself, its frozen peaks and bleak tundra, giving her mastery of ice magic. If you look at her faction effects, a lot of them have to do with Frost Maidens, and obviously 6 control is nice. But in the Ice Court mechanic, which trains Frost Maidens. So we're going to look to pump out a ton of Frost Maidens and have them interacting on the campaign map and in the battlefields as much as possible. She lowers corruption and increases control. That's excellent. And she has a 50% upkeep reduction for Ice Guard units, which are some of the best units she can recruit. And she's an excellent caster, so her miscast base chance is minus 50%. We're going to be playing on hard. That's our starting location on the overall world map. For those of you who've never seen the map before, it's massive. And, yeah. Good to go. Alright. Awesome cutscene incoming. And also, you know what? This has been added, and this is sick. So you can go through all the races, look at all their units. If you're not familiar with anything in the game, you can hover over this. It'll give you a description, their stats, and I think that's pretty neat. Spells as well. This is a really cool inclusion in the game. I just wanted to point that out. If I see new stuff, I'll point it out. And I'm mostly going to be doing this campaign from the perspective of someone, perhaps, who has not played the game before. That way no one gets left behind, guys. Kislev, a realm forged by the Khan queens of old, the bulwark against the darkness, the living bastion that protects the empire and the soft nations to the south. Since her father's death, Katarin has taken the throne, but there are many within the realm who resent her rule. Even now, the power of the great orthodoxy rises against the Ice Queen. If she is to save Ursun, to step beyond her borders and into the Chaos realms, Katarin must have a united nation at her back. I journey to her now across the icy fringes to the Ice Court. If she is to take my advice, I fear she will need convincing. Word has reached the Ice Court of my coming, and an audience in her throne room has been granted. This whole scene upcoming reminds me of Warcraft 3's opening scene with Arthas and his dad. But anyway, the advisor, up to his old tricks. You remember him, of course, from the first and second game, under the influence of Tzeentch. This time it's a book, and yeah, there's a lot of story going on. Some of it we're allowed to show, some of it we're not. Let's continue.
A nation in mourning. False news has arrived before me. They believe Ursun is already dead. My proposition will require a delicate touch. I speak the truth. Your god is not dead. He lies in the realm of chaos, a captive of the Shadow Lord. It is no lie. For one drop of Ursun's blood, I can help you save him.
Choose your last words wisely, old man.
Through your bloodline, you and the bear are one. See past your grief. Search your heart. Ursun is alive.
He speaks the truth. He speaks the truth. Silence! We have lost what is most precious. Many say I am at fault, that I no longer have the right to sit on this throne. So I stand. I stand with my people, all of you. And if it comes to it, I shall die with my people. We have been blinded by grief. Ursun lives, and while he fights to draw breath, we fight for him! For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun! For Kislev!
For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun!
Kislev marches north, into hell.
Hell yeah. She is a badass, and I love it. Kind of like to see her without the hat, though.
Our goal is to rescue Ursun, the god-bear of Kislev, from the clutches of Be'lakor. After fraught bargaining, my price is agreed, and I will do all I can to guide the Kislevites to their lost god.
Come then, before I change my mind and cast you into the ice. Advise me.
Your Highness, there are enemies close by that threaten your throne. If we are to save Ursun, they must be dealt with first. The Maelstrom has forced Northmen, worshippers of the Dark Powers, into Kislev lands. They have taken Kislev. Slay the trespassers. These incursions and the endless winter have sown doubt in the subjects of your burgeoning reign. Followers of the Great Orthodoxy resent your rule. Pacify such malcontents through diplomatic means or martial might. Kostaltin, the supreme patriarch of Ursun's cult, is the instigator of this rebellious feeling. He must be dealt with. If left to fester, it shall cause a schism from which Kislev will never recover. Fortunately, there are allies to be found on our borders, to the west and south. Foster alliances with the Empire and those Kislevite tribes who have always been loyal to your bloodline. There is much to do, Your Highness, if the motherland is to be secured and your god saved. Let us begin.
Alright, guys. How they play, I'll do all the talking about that, so do not worry. But you're welcome to peruse that at your leisure. Mission issue, defeat an army belonging to the following faction. We've got it. Displaced by the Maelstrom, worshippers of the Dark Gods scour the motherland. A horde of Van Heimlings even dares encroach upon the capital. The strong monarch cannot let this stand, destroy them. We get money, we get devotion, which plays into our motherland mechanic. which we'll talk about in a bit, and we'll get a Frost Maiden with the Lure of Tempest, which is pretty sick. Go ahead and click on this. Alright guys, quick overview. Total cash, predicted income, our devotion income, which is important for this campaign, the threat of chaos, based on our devotion income, the motherland mechanic, which allows us to dedicate ourselves to a god for a certain amount of devotion in order to receive certain blessings. We'll talk about that in a sec. And then these two bars here show off the kind of race that we're having with the Great Orthodoxy, or Sculpting, for kind of the heart of Kislev. And if we win, we get ridiculous bonuses and we can federate them. If we want to push them back down, we have to use either devotion or cash. And, you know, in that way we play dirty and we win. It almost looks like a Price is Right game. So we've got 4 gods here: Saliak, Daz, Urson, and Tor. Saliak is the goddess of healing and comfort, teaches common sense and sound care, but will not save those whose time has come. So we get growth and casualty replenishment rate for 10 turns. It's actually a lot. And whenever we level up, we get 1 supporter. We've got Daz here, the god of fire and the sun. It was Daz who took the secret of flame from the sun and gave it to the ancient warrior chiefs. We get a supporter whenever we construct a building, and a supporter is the currency here. We need to get up to 600 to fill up this bar, and it'll tell you here what supporters are. And income from trade is huge. Once we have a lot of trade, that'll be no doubt a really great thing for us to lean into. Urson here. The fate of Kislev is linked in many minds to the fortunes in favor of the god of bears, Urson. So whenever we occupy a settlement, which we'll be looking to do pretty soon, causes attrition to enemy armies within your territory and gives us the ability, the bitterness of winter, which lowers leadership and speed and reduces vigor. Those fools who believed it would be a trifling matter to conquer freezing cold Kislev better hunker down for a very long haul indeed. And then lastly here, Tor, basically Thor, the god of thunder and lightning. Tor is worshipped as a warrior god, cleaving the sky to create thunderbolts. Whenever you fight a battle, you get 2 supporters. You get the army ability Wrath of the Bear. Gives you extra damage, basically. And men imbued with the iron and fury of the Great Bear become as equally hard to break as they are fierce. And melee attack plus 5% for all armies. I've seen people use Urson in other playthroughs, and I've also seen people go for, I want to say, Tor for the early army buffs. And the supporters generated, I'm going to go with Saliak because I want growth. I want to max out growth as fast as possible. And knowing that I'm going to get another character that will level, we've got 10 turns to level as much as we can. We're going to level up the Tzarina quite a bit. We're going to generate quite a few supporters from this. And the growth I think is great, and the casualty replenishment rate early on is going to be huge. So we're going to spend 88 of our devotion in order to invoke that. Very good. We're going to go in here and look at our technology tree, which is based on the 3 main cities of Kislev. We've got Prague, Erengrad, and Kislev itself. And then a more basic series, the land. We've got growth, missile resistance. We'll read these as we unlock them, so don't worry too much about this now. The one that I'm probably going to go for right off the bat is Ice Sculpting, which gives us an additional hero capacity for even more Frost Maidens and unlocks another spot in our Ice Court training, which we'll look at in a moment here. But there's several of these that let us do that. And I want to unlock these because I want to get down into this lower tier here. There's good techs everywhere. They're kind of spread out pretty equally. I haven't noticed any one being stronger than the other. Improved lookouts is quite good. And Streltsy are probably going to be my favorite units in this playthrough, so I'm excited to get those. But here we go. Ice Sculpting. An important skill for acolytes of the Ice Court is learning to carve and shape its abundance through manipulation of the highly volatile ice magic. Let's go ahead and prop that in.
With this, we stand against chaos.
And then here we've got the Ice Court. So this is the mechanic where we get to train our own heroes and lords. Be they, you know, Frost Maidens and Ice Witches. There are other variants, more melee-focused lords that don't fall under this. But before a Kislev spellcaster can be recruited, they must be sent to the Ice Court for training. Here, each candidate will have the opportunity to acquire a number of character traits. So it's kind of like a build-your-own character, and it's very fun. It's very intuitive first off, but it's a more involved process, which I enjoy. So we're gonna unlock one of these slots right off the bat and get access to that. It costs a little bit of gold, but we'll be able to do it.
Snow is
I'll show you guys the new diplomacy after we take our first battle. Here's Kislev. Kislev is just a single basically settlement province. All the main cities are, such as Prague. And I think, can we even see... No, we can't see Arengrad. It's up here, I believe. But there are normal provinces in Kislev that we will take. Here, however, like I said, guys, I played about up to turn, like 15 or so in this campaign. So I have an idea generally of what I want to do. And because Kislev has 4 unique buildings, we're going to have to save room for these eventually. And some of them do, well, I think all of them cost devotion in order to build. It's going to change up how I build Kislev in terms of, I guess, like really just build order. I'm going to build Kislev very different from how I'm going to build just about anywhere else. I'm probably going to end up deleting the Kossar hut. But for now, normally I would pretty much always go for a defensive building. That way my main settlement can survive a siege. But in this case, I'm going to grab the hunting camp, which is going to give us some trade resources. And I'm going to grab, well, as soon as I can, we're going to look to get a little bit more devotion after a couple battles. But we're going to put in an Orthodoxy Oubliette. Those taken to the Oubliettes are rarely seen again, including suspected heretics and even those who merely question the Orthodoxy's aims. It's going to generate control, reduce corruption, increase our devotion and our supporters, and at level 2, it's going to give us access to the recruitment of patriarchs, which is pretty sweet. They're healers and they ride bears. They're badasses. So we're going to look to get that very quickly. Growth we're going to get from our motherland god worship. And this I'm not going to upgrade. We're going to go with standard
Tzarina, Katarin,
lower tier units for a little while. And we're going to talk about her stuff as well after this battle. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Invite death.
And I always like to do manual fights in our first fights. For those of you who don't know, this is a feature. You can scout the terrain. We can auto-resolve. The new auto-resolve is a blessing. It shows you whether or not you'll lose units. And pardon me for a second, guys, while I drink some water. But check out our strong starting army. 3 armored Kossars, 2 with great weapons, 1 with shield. We start off with 2 Ice Guard. Let's go ahead and arrange these guys right off the bat. I love Kislev's army. Their roster, I should say. Because of basically every unit's ability to shoot, which I absolutely love. And we're going to look at the units in just a second here. I love pairing these two together. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at our units. I like to make hot groups. You know what? We're going to put you guys in guard mode as well. We're not going to channel magic. It's basically gambling. So we've got the armored Kossars with great weapons. These guys look sick. Great stats. They also come with pistols. They have 6 ammunition for that. All units have the Buy Our Blood ability, which makes them unbreakable for 30 seconds if they start to waver, which can just absolutely turn the tide of battle. In the center here, I've put our shielded variant. In the backdrop, we've got the Ice Guards with swords. So think of them as Sisters of Avalorn, except they've got frostbite attacks instead of the flaming attacks. And if they get into melee, you'll see they have 42 melee attack, 36 melee defense, and then a weapon strength of 32 with a bonus versus infantry. They are quite good. And then on the wings here, pun intended, we've got the Wing Lancers, looking like the Hussars of Poland. They are sick, cool shields, cool barding on the horses. I'm going to leave the info up for you guys so that way you know what the stats are like. They're shielded, they're armored, but they are a little bit squishy. They are shock cav. And then we're pairing them with the Snow Leopard, which it's kind of grown on me the more I've gotten to play this campaign. They have definitely grown on me. They've got a bit of physical resistance, so their low armor isn't as bad as it looks like. They cause fear. They have frostbite. And they're armor piercing anti-large. So keep that in mind. but they pair excellent with the Winged Lancers. Their speed is 100. So they're faster than the Winged Lancers. They catch something, they slow it down. The Winged Lancers can catch it. You get the idea. And then last but not least is the Tzarina herself. You guys will probably notice I have the 3D portraits turned off, and I find that I get a performance increase whenever I do that. It's kind of been that way for a long time with all of the Warhammer games. But I don't want to talk about performance too much, because performance is likely to change as the game enters its final release state. So, you guys have probably seen Norskins before, but let's just go over them real quick. The Hunters, ranged units. We got the Marauders here. Chaos BDSM dudes. And then we've got Norskin Warhounds in the back, looking vicious. Giant dog lions with horns. And then the big man himself, who we're going to wreck. I have no impetus to go to these guys, so I'm going to let them come to me. And indeed they will. And they're going to walk right into a hail of gunfire, which I love. Let's bring her up a little bit more. She's got 2 spells. Ice Maiden's Kiss, which is a breath spell. And you can see whenever I cast, there's a feature in the game now that slows down everything as you cast. Her animations of like gliding on ice are so sick. And then I can also use this ability, which I think is going to be underrated by people. But it slows the heck out of the enemy on the approach in a huge AoE, which will allow for more ranged fire. Once we get artillery and things like that, it's going to be an incredibly important spell for us. The new Winds of Magic system is so cool. You can see our reserve. I'm waiting for them to get in a range. There we go. This is what we wanted. We're firing, we're firing. Let's switch our fire off to the Hunters and off of the shielded Marauders. And then we're going to go and eat these Warhounds here. And the pistol fire is awesome. Go into K mode real quick. Hell yeah. And they are getting torn up. Very good. Let them chew those guys up. That's actually fine with me. Just stay on the Warhounds. They'll come back if I let them. And let's get a little crossfire here. You guys shoot there, you guys shoot here. My guys are in guard mode, so they're not going to chase. You see how it's slowed there? Show you guys the Ice Maiden's Kiss. Send the Snow Leopard off to attack. Oh yeah, we wiped those dudes out. Little crossfire changes the angle. Hopefully we're not shooting too many of our guys in the back. I don't think we are, but maybe we are. Let's get her out of there. She's getting beat on by this Marauder Chieftain, and it's just not necessary. Bring these guys up. Bring them down and around. The Snow Leopard's armor piercing would have been good versus that Lord, and he just punts him. Oh yeah. Alright. And we could sit here and kill more, but I don't think we're going to have to take this fight twice. Though if we did, it wouldn't be the worst thing. It'd just be more experience for us. Nice little easy softball pitch at the beginning of our campaign to get us warmed up. Ironically enough, it's freezing cold outside right now. It's like 20-something degrees, and I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Yesterday had no water. All the pipes froze in the neighborhood. My pipes, I kept a little bit of pressure running. Thankfully, I know about that. Through my pipes, so my stuff didn't freeze, but it was definitely a possibility. But yeah, it's cold. It's cold as hell outside right now. Giving me a more immersive Kislev experience. And guys, we're going to be taking the devotion. 250 gold at this point is not a ton. The replenishment would be nice, but we're going to get our own replenishment. We don't got to worry about that. 21 devotion, though, is great. So let's take that. We leveled up, so we're going to get a chance to look at her spells, her abilities. Quest done. We're going to get our Frost Maiden. Another mission just to add her. If you weren't aware, you can add her to the army. And then your queen needs you. Kislevites always flock to strong rulers. Your recent victory will ensure there are plenty of Kossars eager to fight under your banner, which is well, as you will need a larger army to reclaim towns stolen by the Van Heimlings. Additional units may be recruited into an army. Got it. So the Ottomans is still locked. We gotta own 2 provinces before we can use that. So don't stress too much about that yet. We want to get to, let's see. There's no point anymore in being in encampment stance inside of your own territory. It doesn't affect your replenishment rate like it used to. So we are simply going to camp here.
The Ice Queen never fails.
And we're going to recruit a bunch of Kossars. So let's get
Together,
2 of the standard variant. There's one with spears and one without. These are axe infantry. These are anti-large spear infantry. But they all have bows and they act as archers. Very cool hybrid units. That's one of the things I was mentioning earlier that I love about Kislev. This is Evelina Bebchuk. Let's take a look at her. She might have some unique abilities or something. She's unbreakable. She's an ice shard wielder. So she has frostbite and she's infantry focused. So she increases the weapon strength for our entire army by 7%. That's pretty sweet. Well, that's nice of you. Wait. What is this? Does she have like an extra army ability? That must just mean she has Ice Shard. Huh. We'll have to see whenever we get a chance to use her. I feel like she has an extra ability. That's interesting. Love the new UI for this, by the way. We're going to be boring at the beginning, and we're going to go for Route Marcher. More campaign movement range is very important. But later on, you can see that she has access to a War Bear. She has the ability to summon snow leopards with super abilities. She has her own unique trait tree, I guess you would call it, a trait tree, which lowers her winds of magic cost for her spells, really jacks up her power. This plus the War Bear is going to make her a pretty powerful opponent, and that's mostly because she has you'll notice she has no yellow line like most lords, so she's not going to be able to get strong that way. Ward save 8% for the entire army. So we're going to be looking to build into these when she gets up to level 12 as quickly as possible. And then of course she can buff her own units. And then I love to get things like Lightning Strike, Quartermaster, get the extra replenishment rate, get all the other good juicy buffs. But we're going to want to get some of these buffs and spells as soon as possible.
Kislev's great gods.
Alright, so let's add Evelina Bebchuk. And guys, feel free to absolutely to name some of our units or our hero characters if you would like. I was hoping you guys would want to do that. That'll definitely make the campaign more fun. And here we go. We got the devotion that we needed in order to get the Orthodoxy Oblit. Let's drop that in there. And I'm tempted to destroy this. What would I replace it with right now? Let's see. I would probably put in... Yeah, I would probably get an early Tallow Keepers Guild for the growth plus the reduction in construction cost. There's also a stall I could put in for lots of income to be generated. Normally I like to really plan out my building. I don't plan on using Kislev as a massive recruitment hub. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, so boom, that's 4 slots there. 5, 6, and then we've got 3 additional slots for something else. So it could be 1, 2, and then 3. Boom. Money. Done. I'm going to go ahead and destroy this because it's going to take a turn to do it. And we're just going to recruit a ton of Kossars. They're going to be at the backbone of our army for quite some time. And we do have a commandment here because it's a standalone province. We don't have to have multiple different settlements in order to do this. So the power of the church gives us reduction in corruption. We're not currently facing any corruption. Hero recruit rank +2 is nice. Lowering the cost is also good. No plagues yet. We've got relief columns, recruitment cost -10%, and local recruitment capacity +2. This takes a turn to go into effect. Otherwise, this would be huge right now because we could greatly increase our recruitment. It might even be worth doing it, but we're going to do it on the fly as we attack Kislev next turn. Income from all buildings 5% doesn't give me much right now. And then I kind of like building up our control early. So let's do that. Let's get a positive control. That way our growth is increased. More line of sight doesn't hurt either. Absolute control. That's what we want. And then last but not least, guys, in terms of mechanics, we are going to go over the new trade system, which is awesome. It has the quick deal function, which is a lifesaver. Sterling. All we got to do is go to quick deal. We can see who wants to make different agreements with us. Non-aggression, trade, military. And we don't have to waste our time guessing and messing with gold value. So like Ostermark, the Empire, will go ahead and initiate diplomacy for trade. We hit balance offer. They'll give us the gold equal to the amount of agreement that they have left over.
Fine.
Proposed and done. How simple is that?
Highborn son.
Brotherhood of the Bear will go ahead and do the same thing.
Warrior knows an ally when he sees one.
They'd also like military access. We'll balance the offer, get almost 200 extra gold. That's fine.
You pay the...
And that's with Rastilton Bebchuk.
Kislev.
Probably some relation to our current Ice Witch, Ice Maiden.
We shall converse with mutual respect. You are...
And a couple extra 100 gold for our trouble, but also just straight up the value.
Who calls?
We'll make a non-aggression with them.
On behalf of the Empire. I will.
Straight up the value of trade. So we'll look at how that's going to change our income for next turn, for those of you who are curious. And that's it. I mean, our reliability rating is very high. You can see here our agreements here, who we're at war with. Norskins, we've got Clan Molder here. Legion of Chaos, of course. Strength rank 14. And, yeah. And then as far as income goes, you'll see here our trade income is now at plus 165. Not bad. Alright, guys, let's roll on through that first turn.
So I prove my right to rule.
Alright, so our first mission was a success. Recruit 2 units. Got that done. 10 more devotion. Excellent. And up next, cleanse Kislev, which was exactly where we're headed. The Van Heimling squad in Kislev, their bitterness and hatred to you only further inflamed by the defeat of Ghoul Branson's horde. They cannot be left to fester. As Queen of the Motherland, you must expel them without mercy. Good bit of money for that, so we're going to definitely want to get that done. They are going to be recruiting.
Tzarina.
Can we reach them this turn? We cannot, which is pretty spooky because they're going to get another turn to go ahead and recruit up. This bridge is what's sort of messing us up here, messing up our range. We can raid them, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to encamp.
Pledge your obedience to me.
And we're going to spend the cash. I mean, are we? You know what? We probably don't need it. Let's not waste like 1,200 gold if we don't have to. I think I can get in here, crush these guys next turn, even if they recruit. It's going to be a settlement battle, which is a little bit tougher than a normal battle. And I think we go for an early Talos Keeper, and then eventually we'll probably get rid of that and put something else there. But it'll really speed us on our way to getting level 3 and then eventually level 4, which is massive because at level 3 we'll be able to get some of these unique ones, which also give us a garrison. You'll see the Boca Palace gives us 2 Tsar Guard in addition to all the other great benefits that it gives. And then the Temple of Ursun, which we'll probably want to rush as well for growth, which will replace the growth building that I just started building, will give us an Elemental Bear, the most powerful unit in our roster as a garrison unit, and some trade goods and everything. We're going to really want to get that as soon as we can. So, one more turn of chilling. And, yeah. We could check diplomacy again. There's probably not much point to that. Unless we see that we discovered a new faction. Engaging in diplomacy every turn like this is not going to be very useful like it used to be. It was compulsory before, but it's not anymore.
Kislev's ally.
And you see here we have these options if you want to look at stuff. All good. Alright, let's roll one more turn. And let's hope they don't recruit 10 units, as sometimes the AI does.
We are in
3. That makes way more sense. Establish a trade agreement. Unfortunately, we've already established all of our trade agreements.
None shall question me.
So we're just going to have to wait until we get an opportunity to trade with someone new. Auto-resolve has given me a Pyrrhic victory where I lose things. We have the option to encircle them and wait. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to attack. And it's going to be a settlement battle. I find that they take some time to load. But there you go. Lots of entrances in. Wish me luck. Now, Norscan settlements have pretty strong units. The Marauder champions are pretty beefy. But I'm going to be more concerned about the towers that have been added to the game, dealing damage to us, more so than the units, because we're going to have some overwhelming magic. I mean, our magic is going to be a massive player in this. And instead of attacking from all different angles, which you can do once you have huge armies, and I think you're even supposed to do, force the defenders to spread out, especially if their numbers are lower than yours. We're going to attack from one side. That way we can concentrate our fire. We can take down towers with our ranged units. That should help us a lot. So now we just need to decide our angle of attack. You'll see here all of these points that we can capture in order to get bonuses and lower the amount of supplies that the enemy is able to requisition, which in turn lowers the amount of barricades and towers that they're able to build. This is their victory point, essentially. If we can capture that, we get a big bonus, and we take away their bonus. Where are we attacking from? What makes the most sense? This is the death ramp. This area sort of makes sense. I don't like that it splits off into two directions, though. It basically forces me to divide my forces. This one, I like a little bit more. Let's go off to the side here. And I love my hot groups, guys. And we are going to use them. Let's put all of these together as archers. They have different ranges, but that is okay. Put you guys in the forest. And our two casters can go in different directions. She has a bound damaging ability. That's incredible. Just a free spell. 3 casts of a free spell that I'm sure will do great damage. Let's get in there. Now, there's going to be a tower. Where is it? There it is. It'll be good if my archers can take it out before we even get in. Let's see what kind of spell this... how this is. We'll drop that one down. That's a new spell for us. Nice. And we even get the slow-mo. Ah, it's like a spear. Ah, I see. It's a magic missile. I should have recognized that. Alright, let's move up here. Our guys are derping out a little bit. There's a lot of derpy angles in sieges. And you know what? I'm going to make you guys group 4. I'm going to make you guys group 2. They're not really letting me get a great line of sight here. We're going to go up this way. Let's take off the lock. Go this way. Here. And here. Try to keep this tower a non-factor. It'll basically be shooting into nothing. We have no healing until we have a Patriarch. Keep these guys behind the rocks. And we're going to push into this central square and take it from them. Let's get in there. For some reason, our guys are shy to shoot. And sometimes it's just hard to see that they're shooting because of the snow. Makes it so that it's hard to see the missiles. This has a really good range, so we're going to be relying, I think, on Hailstorm more often than some of our other spells. A small whiff there. I think it still did some damage. Alright, let's push this way. They're building another tower, but if we can take it, this square here, they won't have access to it. If these spearmen come out, we'll charge them. But yeah, we got to get our boys up and in. And they're trying to build this. Alright, get on the point. As long as we're shooting, I'm happy. I don't need, like, crazy value on my archers. Let's turn and see if we can't kill some of these spearmen.
Taking position.
Tzarina, Katarin.
And we'll bring the snow leopard in here to help us with this fight. Alright guys, shoot. There's no great spot here for me to make a formation. See, they're trying to dock on this wall, which I don't want. Yeah, we're going to start taking pretty serious damage. I don't know what just hurt me, but we just got wrecked by something. We're going to drop some spells here. Kill these guys right away. But that should not, whatever that was, I don't know if it was some sort of magic, but that hurt us a lot. Is this just some kind of ridiculous tower that they built? It's just a basic piercing tower. I don't think it should be doing that much damage. But our unit is basically gone. Maybe it got some crazy shots. Let's drop another one of these. And this is good. We'll let our Ice Guard fight here. And I don't mind them running off the battlefield. As long as that unit survives, I'm happy. And we're going to take this, and that's going to destroy the tower for us. Very good. We finally got some decent angles here. Nice. So we're safe, basically. We're safe to sit here and have their units come to us. Yeah, we destroyed 2 of their towers. This one, however, is shooting us. Maybe they had multiple towers wrecking us at the same time. That makes sense, huh? Let's get in here. We'll bring her back, and there we go. With the Lord dead, I feel pretty good about our chances here. Let's go over here and capture this location. Start moving our range forces. Armored Kossars are going to go capture this. They'll take casualties from that tower.
Follow the bear!
Get in there, please. Pull back with our cav. Let them take the full spell in the face. And we can charge back in. And we've nearly got the fight in hand. And there we go. Army losses. Not a bad first settlement battle, if I do say so myself. And we're probably going to call it after this. I don't want to risk going on too much longer. Like I said, I had that crash in my first video and it was pretty devastating. To talk for 50 minutes, to read and explain everything, and now of course I'm doing it for a second time. To do it for a third time would be brutal. But that was a good first settlement battle. I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at the game. As we load back in here. You just kind of have to, just like in the first two games, you have to deal with the jankiness of sieges. And you're just going to have to learn to do it. With settlement battles, just like you did with the old sieges. So that's kind of what I've done. I've done quite a few settlement battles at this point. They are still a little bit janky. Let's see, for our trouble, we've got some devotion, we've got some money in our treasury, some experience. Because we level on multiple characters, we're going to get extra supporters. Got the Lichbone Pendant. Spell resistance and magical attacks, which is pretty sweet. Give that to our Winged Lancers, perhaps. Magic is no longer... Magical attacks are pretty much always good now. We're going to occupy.
By right.
And we got a veteran warrior. Let me tell you a tale of the last time the Dark Gods invaded the Motherland. That was a fight to behold. And we get bonus recruit rank for our infantry units, which is huge because we're about to recruit a lot of infantry. And they're going to come in stronger. Mission successful. Boom, boom, boom. Faction destroyed. New mission, maintain control of this province. If you were to rescue the bear god Urson from the realm of chaos, then Kislev must be united. Kislev is but the first step on this journey. Now bring the rest of the Oblast under your rule. Claim all settlements in this province through might or diplomacy. And it's a huge
Tzarina,
sack of gold for doing that.
Katarin.
And you'll see here, now extra ranks show you exactly what the bonuses are, which is awesome. And we're going to recruit up while we heal. You'll see our ancillaries tab, our magic items tab. We can sell these, we can merge them into newer, rarer stuff. There's so much to talk about, guys. Ice Maiden's Kiss into Death's Frost is what I wanted to get. Or Frost Blades, which is also... You know what? Let's go Frost Blades. We're going to get a lot of different stuff, so don't worry about it if your favorite spells or skills aren't being used right off the bat. We're going to see a lot of different things getting used. We're going to boost our income. Kislev is going to get... Let's see, we've got farms. Hollowed wood. We'll go over more of this in the next episode. But to start with, could go for dervishes. Try to get winged lancers. But the thing that I really want to get is the Kossar hut. And get that going. And then in the next, we'll get growth and all that sort of thing. But guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much. My name is Brett. Channel's Goodtalk Gaming. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you like this. If there's other races and factions you want to see, I'm definitely down to do more than one campaign at once. I'm playing a Cathay campaign that is super fun. I own all of Cathay like before it turned 30. So it's going a little too well, if you ask me. But that's it, y'all. My voice can't handle it anymore. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.